I've played all the mainline Final Fantasy games, but now it's time to talk about the most important part, so get your maiden's kiss ready for the top 10 frogs in Final Fantasy, or things very close to a frog.
Wait, what? Frogs?
Number 10, Sewer Frog. In Final Fantasy, there's the frog status effect. It turns you into a frog, makes you basically useless, and it's mostly frustrating. Normally you can cure it with a maiden's kiss or frog magic and never think about it again. You'd never willingly want to turn into a frog, or so you'd think.
Ribbit.
Well, it turns out in Final Fantasy 3 you have to turn it into a frog to progress the main story, because you need to enter and swim through the deeps and you literally won't fit unless you cast toad magic on the entire party. I think this is pretty cool. It's a bit of a puzzle, you need the right magic and swap to the right jobs to turn into frogs and solve the puzzle. That kind of game design is mostly gone from modern entries, and this is one Final Fantasy where becoming a frog is required to save the world, and why it earns number 10.
This is a Shoopuff.
Number 9, Ride the Shoopuff. Final Fantasy X is home of the Hypalo, amphibian creatures that are very frog-like and become pretty iconic.
Rides the Shoopuff?
You probably remember these guys operating the Shoopuff service, letting people cross the moonfloor between the south and north banks, which is actually pretty important for summoners like Yuna on their pilgrimage.
Is everybody okay?
There's a few Hypalo in 10 too as well, including Barkeep. These guys speak with a lisp, have a weird tone, and sometimes just speak straight up gibberish. And it's impossible not to love them.
Impossible! Impossible!
Why are these guys number 9? Well, you need their help to cross the moonfloor, but honestly, purely because of how unforgettable they are, even if there's a debate on whether these guys are actually frogs. Number 8, Croakadile and Ring of the Toad. Final Fantasy XII has a few beastie frogs, but my favourite has got to be the Croakadile. Half frog, half crocodile, it's hunt target number 11, and like a lot of frogs, it really enjoys the rain. Croakadile can be a surprisingly tough fight. One of its special abilities, Growing Threat, doubles its level, and when combined with Angel Song, which regenerates its health, it can turn into a nasty encounter if you don't deal with it quickly.
You're well informed.
But that's not all. The Croakadile drops the Ring of the Toad, which starts a small side quest. If you take the ring back to the hunt provider Cid, he'll ask you to deliver it to his beloved Brunoa. She reveals that a long time ago she lost her wedding ring to the Croakadile, and Cid saw how sad she was and promised to bring back her ring, but he never returned. Turns out it can be a very dry landscape, the Croakadile only appears with the rain, and you'll need to wait for that weather effect. There's no reward for this extra little side quest, just a sweet little side story. Before we look at number 7, if you love RPGs, consider subbing to Peter Bytes or giving the video a like. I'm a bit of an indie game developer who covers RPGs, and I'm replaying the whole Final Fantasy series while ranking them. Thank you. Number 7, Aenc Thon, Lake Lord, Lord of the Lingering Gaze, and Lord of the Lightsome Gate. Aenc Thon comes from Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers, set in the world of the first. He's a Fwaf, a race of frog people, and he's the top frog. So from 14's Encyclopedia, all agree that Aenc Thon's magical prowess is formidable. He's leader of the Fwaf, which were unified in their awe at Aenc Thon's illusion magic. Loyal to the Fairy King, he comes to her defense as the final dungeon boss of Don Meg, which honestly is a pretty gorgeous dungeon. During the fight, you get to see Aenc Thon making use of his illusion magic to transform into different monsters, and he even turns the arena into a mini jumping puzzle, which is a pretty unique dungeon mechanic. I like it. He even managed to interrupt my limit break to turn me into a frog. Aenc Thon is pretty badass, his lore is awesome, and that's why he's number 7. Number 6, the Poroggo. In Final Fantasy XI, there's these mischievous frog wizards called Poroggo. They look cute, but they're deadly. Some of them can turn you into a frog, and once transformed, you lose control of your character and start attacking your own party members. Back in the day, this could be absolutely devastating. Where the Poroggo get really interesting is in the lore. Long ago, the frogs of Windurst Waters had a spell cast on them that allowed them to grow and walk on 2 feet. Eventually, Windurst saw them as a threat and genocided them into extinction on the mainland. Now these frogs are hungry for revenge on the Turu race in particular, which would explain how I first encountered these frogs fighting alongside the Mumble Jar in the Treasures of Aturgan expansion. Honestly, these might be the most tragic frogs on the list.
The soul of the party and the king of the dance floor, Dancing Green!
Number 5, Dancing Green. Dancing Green is the stage name of Ahia in Final Fantasy XIV. He's one of the competitors in the Cruiserweight series of the Ascension Arcadia Championship. Basically, he's a froggy raid boss with some serious moves. The fight is all about movement, rhythm, and dancing.
Dance like there's no tomorrow!
Through the fight, Dancing Green will summon his backup dancing Afro Frogmen, and their hand signals indicate the attacks coming next, so paying attention to these guys in the background is important. It's a cleverly designed raid boss that mixes timing, observation, and a little bit of froggy groove. Number 4. Frog Drop. While in Final Fantasy IX your party can't turn into frogs, it can be used as a deadly weapon. With Quina's blue magic, you can crush enemies with the sheer power and weight of frogs. By eating a gigging toad, Quina learns the Frog Drop blue magic. An ability that deals fixed damage based on Quina's level and the number of frogs you've caught in the marshes. It's guaranteed fixed damage that makes it potentially really powerful in endgame. Across Nang's world, you've got these marshes where you can pause the main adventure to catch some frogs as Quina. Frog catching makes for a decent minigame with lots of little rewards, including Quina's ultimate weapon. It's fun, charming, quirky, and a reminder that even the smallest creatures can pack a punch if you get enough of them.
Ribbit? Hello?
Number 3. Jump Frog. So Final Fantasy VII Rebirth goes pretty hard on minigames. Somehow Rebirth alone has more minigames than the entire original Final Fantasy VII. One of the new minigames is Jump Frog, and I think it's a pretty good addition. Under Junon, there's a pretty crazy side quest. A group of kids have found a magic mist that turns people into frogs while they're in the mist, and they've turned that into a chaotic kids party game.
So, ready to play? Come on, you'll love it, I promise. Ribbit?
Ribbit.
All the frogs hop onto a platform, and your goal is simple: avoid obstacles and stay on as long as possible without getting knocked off. It's a fun, frantic little challenge, and with so many frogs bouncing around, it even feels a little bit like a battle royale. Number 2. Cid Fabool the Ninth. In Final Fantasy IX, Cid is the king of Lindblum, but still an engineering genius at heart who builds airships. After his wife Hilda discovers he's been having an affair, she turns Cid into an Ooglop. Might be thinking, that's not a frog? Well, in his attempts to reverse that Ooglop curse, he ends up as a frog instead. Frog Cid joins the party on their adventure, and when the group gets caught and captured by Kuja, he steps up as a hero. Escaping your cell, you have to play a minigame to sneak past enemies and grab the cell keys to free our other party members. Not the best minigame in the Final Fantasy series, it's a little frustrating, but it is awesome getting to play as Cid. While he loses some of his intelligence in his Ooglop and frog forms, once Cid returns to his human form, he's able to build the ultimate airship that can fly without mist. But even in his frog form, this Cid's heroics shine through. Number 1. Frog Pincer / Frog Song. In Final Fantasy VII, the frogs are pretty notorious. Not for being super strong, they're just incredibly annoying. In forest areas, like just before Cosmo Canyon, you can randomly encounter groups of frogs. Sometimes you'll be pincer attacked from a swarm of frogs on either side with no escape. Thing is, frog attacks will transform you into a frog, rendering you pretty useless. Now combine that with their special ability Frog Song, which can also transform a party member into a frog, as well as put them to sleep. A deadly combination, especially considering you're getting barraged by these frogs' attacks from both sides. You'll barely be able to get a turn in. Not to mention, it's an attack from both sides, you can't run away from the fight. You can get stuck in these frog encounters for ages, and worst case scenario it could be an early game over screen, making these frogs potentially the most deadly in the series. So yeah, maybe equip a white cape next time you're going through these forests. Those are my favourite Final Fantasy frogs. I recommend my top 10 games of 2025 next, or my recent replay of Final Fantasy 16. Thanks for watching, have a good one.